lot of emotions in a game like this. Totally disgusted and disappointed with the start. What was the worst we were down? Was it 18-4?
We were down 15 at one point.
That's 14, so 19-4, whatever we were down. I didn't think we guarded anybody early, and I uncharacteristically just kind of stayed calm and tried to get Cassius going, which is not easy. We thought that they were going to pound it inside, and our bigs did not do a very good job. Xavier did, but the other guys struggled with that. We're not very big, so that was a problem. Did a decent job on the boards after the rough start. I think they had 3 or 4 offensive rebounds in the first couple minutes. And then the second half, I mean, it was a good run before halftime, and they hit that big 3. And a kid that hits 12% like last year hit the big 3 to go up. It's shooting 12% from the. I tell my guys every day that Michigan State is a somebody, and that people get up for you. And I mean, we had Boudreaux hit 3 threes in a row. He hasn't hit one since. We have a kid that's shooting 12%, 2 for 17, and he hits a big one. And we made some critical turnovers, missed some layups, uncharacteristically missed some free throws. Cassius played better the second half. At the end, not great, but better. Feel bad for Xavier because that missed layup wasn't that one that bothered me, because that was at the buzzer. It was the 2 before that, and we just didn't play good enough to win out.
Coach, what did you see on that last play, on that lob to Winston? Was it kind of tipped from behind from a defender, and that's someone kind of bobbled it on that botched layup there, on the last play there? For you guys?
No, I just think he tried to get it up on the rim, and I really don't know. I thought he did a hell of a job. There were 2 guys coming at him. He got it up. He had a wide open layup, just missed it. But Xavier played probably as well as anybody most of the game, other than those missed layups and a few missed free throws.
You got some big shots from Aaron and from Gabe and one from Rocket, like things that didn't happen at Purdue. Are there things that you can at least take from this that you couldn't a week ago and say, okay, this is a step?
Yeah, I mean, but Aaron and Cassius and Xavier are supposed to be, when I was supposed to look at 1 or 2 shots, and whoa, I mean, for Aaron and Gabe to get 2 rebounds in a game like this is a joke, because we were just trying to hold our own with our bigs and tell our wings to go gobble up plays. So I wasn't real happy with that. There was some fight in us the second half, but Cassius is a big part of that. He was struggled the first half, and as I told him after, when he wanted to defend, he did. And so there were some parts that were disappointing. Parts when you come back, I think we had a 3-point lead where we stopped them 4 times in a row and didn't score. We had a couple turnovers, we had a missed shot. And then that last one, they missed a shot, it bounces to the free throw line, and I had 2 guys that were standing there looking at it. They get it, and then they hit that 3 to tie it. And those things, the second shots, you can't do that. So our youth showed inside, it showed, but our experienced guys, one played okay, and one played a better second half, but didn't play very good the first half.
You said it was hard getting Cassius going. Was that physically, mentally, what they were doing? What do you think was spurred that?
I don't know. What did you think? You watched this?
They got us sitting on the moon. I have no idea what happened.
Well, I was sitting down there, and I didn't have much idea what happened. It's just moments when things are tough for him. I think they did a decent job. He's making plays. it has nothing to do with his defense, you know. I think Cash is going to have to get mad. Maybe mad at the world, maybe mad at me. But it's been a little bit of a struggle, and we're just trying to hang with him because it's a tough thing he's gone through, and I don't know. I think they did a decent job on it defensively. They were out, the throwbacks were wide open. That's why we had so many open shots. That's why Xavier had drives to the lane, so we hits to the corner. And the second half, they looked a lot better, but the big thing was the first half defensively. We just didn't play very well.
You've obviously played in Assembly Hall so many times over your assistant coaching career and head coaching career. How do you prepare to play in a building like this, and has it changed over the years as you've had more experience?
How do I prepare them to play? You know, it really doesn't matter what I do. I got a lot of young guys that never played in this building. Or the ones that have never were on the floor of this building. So, I mean, I've been in this building a lot. I miss my man Bob Knight. I really do. I think it's been a great place. They did a great job tonight. Fans were great. But I mean, it's like that all over in the Big Ten. And I don't think the building caused the turnovers. I don't think the building missed the layups. I don't think the building missed the free throws. I think that was us, and so I really do a better job of coaching them, but it's not the building. Building's great. Love it here. It's great.
The 5-2 starts on the road, what do you attribute those slow starts to? Is that, Cash getting off to a bad start or on the road, or what do you see there?
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with being on the road. I mean, let me tell you something. Your best player's got to play well to win on the road. Your best player's got to get off to good starts. And we didn't get off to a good start, I give them a lot of credit, but I do give us a lot of credit. Because in a building like this, or any of these on the road, when you get down like that, to just kind of methodically bring yourself back. And then we brought ourselves back, with some key guys on the bench. And they hit that three right before the half. It was the only three of the first half they made. But when a guy hits one with 12%, I guess you got to give the kid credit for taking it. I wouldn't want a guy taking a three. Maybe he's way better shooter than I know. Maybe those numbers are just off.
Where do you feel you're at right now with being able
We're
to...
6-2. 6-2. And
with being able to challenge Cash?
I tried to explain to you guys, but nobody listens. We're very young. He's been through a traumatic thing. I challenged him tonight. I mean, I benched him for a while, I guess. I didn't bench him because I'm mad at Cassius. I just trying to find ways, trying to figure out. It's been the hardest thing that I've ever gone through because it so goes against my personality, and yet nobody even gave me credit. And jerks from East Lansing, I just kept my cool the whole first half because I think there's some fragile things that we have to deal with that I don't really appreciate, but I got to do what I got to do, so I'm doing it. And I'm still meeting with him daily, 2 times a day, sometimes 3 times a day.
Hey, Tom.
Yes, sir.
You've now lost Indiana 3 times in a row, which is unethical.
Like
But what are they doing different now than before when you were kind of dominating?
I'm not going to give them a lot of credit or us a lot of blame. I'm not going to give us a lot of credit or them a lot of blame. I mean, we had them down 15 last year, and we didn't play good enough. We had them down that much at our place and went 8 for 24 from the free throw line or something. I mean, they've done a good job. They got good players. I love Trace. I recruited Trace hard. Those guards, they've been shooting the ball terrible, like my guards, but they're good players and they work hard. And I think they do a good job getting inside a completely different team than last year. Last year, I don't know if they threw it in there at all. And this year, they're throwing it in every play, he's done a good job. But they've beaten us, so, I've been beaten by a better, and I've been
Tom, I'm sure you've addressed this before, but why has the Big Ten been so historically dominated by home teams this year? I mean, the winning percentage is like 780.
Well, you know, it's because we have all this transfer rule that everybody's probably excited about, but me. And so I think everybody's losing kids, and I think the parity is off the charts. I think we got some, you know, Steve Pico, I think, is one of the best coaches in the country. And we got some guys that, you know, have done a hell of a job there. I think Penn State is really, you know, we just got better coaches, better teams top to bottom. And always in the Big Ten, when your team is even decent, everywhere you go, everywhere we go, it's going to be a sellout. I mean, are you kidding me? It's shirt night here. You know, those are saved for the weekends. Maybe that's a compliment to Michigan State, you know. But I don't know. I don't think kids are as mentally tough. You gotta be mentally tough to win on the road. You know, more so than even at home. I heard Matt Painter talking about that a little bit. And you need great leadership. And right now we're a little bit broken. And yet we're not. We're 6-2. We're 14-5. You know. And that's the way it is. And you know, I thought we could have won the game, but we could have lost the game by a lot more the way we played. And we played 2/3 of it pretty well and fought our way back against a good team, hostile crowd. But we, I try to tell our writers that, you know, the Big Ten, this is such a screwed up schedule. Does anybody know where anybody is? You know, we played 5 of our first 7 at home, and our one road game was against the last place team. So, you know, I guess that's the way it had to be, but that's not healthy either, because you get players get you know, everybody's on Twitter, everybody's telling them how good they are. You know, I'm telling them they suck. You know, and but we're 5-6-1, so nobody feels good about that. But you know, listen, we're not the same team. We are up and down. Hopefully we'll get Kyle Arns back. That'll help. I'm going to look at some changes, though. And I think we've got to a sense of urgency. But again, we got a hell of a player. And he's going to have some good days and bad days. And I'm just going to have to keep working, because there were times I just say, wow, I've never seen that. And he doesn't miss many lobs. You know, we ran a play to Brown, got a lob out of a timeout. We ran the same play out of another timeout, and it was wide open. And, you know, just uncharacteristic. It's not his fault, but just uncharacteristic of him. And we have to make those kind of plays to win, because we don't have, you know, Langford. We don't have, you know, we're missing 50 minutes of experience. And, you know, so we can't make a lot of errors, foolish turnovers, missed layups, bad passes.
Wait, just last one. With the play with Gabe, his bucket's taken away, and a similar play on the other end. Just what was communicated to you, I guess, in terms of Indiana's accounting and...
I don't know, there were 3 good officials, a couple calls I didn't like, a couple calls Archie didn't like. I thought the one when Xavier went up for that thing and the ball went crazy. I mean, that wasn't going into the shot, but they said it wasn't. So, listen, you miss layups, throw the ball away like we did. It's hard to bitch about. And the officiating, I honestly thought that was a very good crew, and I mean, I don't ever say that. So, take the officiating out of it, let the coach and the players. Yeah.
Coaches, fans, media aren't patient, but anyone that's studied grief knows it can take up to 13 months, not till the person heals, but just till they even get back to some sense of normalcy. Is that something that you just have to keep in mind, and people need to take in mind when it comes to Cash, that this is basketball, that was a tragedy that'll affect the rest of his life?
Yeah, it's I can't explain to all of you, because you would have no clue unless you've gone through it. And if you've gone through it, you'd have a big clue. And yet I don't want to make excuses for him, because that doesn't do him any good either. There is a reality to this whole thing. And there is a up and down right now. It was almost like really good for a little while, and now it's really been up and down. And I think there was some hope that the second half, I thought it was the best job defensively he's done in a long time. And, you know, we've got to be able to focus in, but he's my guy. I'm gonna just keep experimenting. What can I do? How can it work? More time, more film sessions, more time on the bench, more time on the floor. I'm just gonna keep moving it around, talking to him, and you know, it's a difficult thing to talk about. And you know, I've got what I think is the best player in the league. Prejudice, because there's a lot of very good players, but hasn't played quite the same lately. And I think there's I told you when he was playing really good, there's gonna be some ebbs and flows. But you know, fans are, I almost said a bad word. Media is, I almost said a bad word. People, you know, just don't understand that they see a guy in a jersey, whether it's from something like this or an injury, and if they see him in a jersey, they think everything's back to normal. If you hung around me for the last 2 months, there's nothing that's been normal. But that's not an excuse for tonight, because guess what? Because everybody wants to beat Michigan State. And I got a hell of a player that's got a hell of a future. And I got to figure out a way to keep helping. But I do know that I'm seeing something that isn't the norm. And I'm just going to keep grinding, keep hugging, keep kissing, keep yelling, keep do the best I can. So if that's it, I'd also like to tell you that you looked at our bench. I did not travel Brock Washington. I suspended him. There's nothing more I'm going to say about it, but I did suspend him, so he's home and will be suspended. And that tops off a good night, right?
Thanks, guys.